Good morning and welcome to lesson 37. My holiness blesses the world. And there will be some smart conceptual minds out there saying, if there is no world, how can my holiness bless the world? There is no world is a concept. Don't use it as a defense against applying the lessons that are required for you to undergo the preparation to pave the way for an experience that will show you there is no world and give you the essential reference in your mind through that experience around which you can then focus all of your efforts comfortably and securely without needing to struggle to maintain some sense of direction. All right, so concepts are nothing, experience is everything. Say that 100 times. Concepts are nothing, experience is everything. When I was going through the early years of my transformation with this Course in Miracles, albeit that I didn't know it myself at the time, I spent a lot of time defending myself because I had had an experience. I didn't have this prior to the experience, I had this after. So I was top down. You guys, if you're doing these lessons and then having the experience, you're going to be bottom up. Right? Doesn't matter either way. I think it would have been easier for me if I'd have had this first, but that's not the way that it happened. My life was quite traumatic, and in here, on the outside, it would have seemed fairly normal or reasonably normal to most people, but anyway, don't use the concept to defend yourself. Stay open-minded throughout. Just because you have some spiritual learnings and have this book and all of this stuff, don't become a smart-ass spiritual know-it-all like me. All right. My holiness blesses the world. This idea contains the first glimmerings of your true function. So you do have a true function in the world, or why you are here. Your purpose, get this, your purpose is to see the world through your own holiness. Thus are you and the world blessed together. No one loses, nothing is taken away from anyone, everyone gains through your holy vision. It signifies the end of sacrifice because it offers everyone his full due, and he is entitled to everything because it is his birthright as a son of God. You're entitled to everything. This littleness that we live in, this sense of poverty and lack and need and want and all that bullshit. I need this, I want that. Oh. It's just rubbish. Why do we live like that? It's his birthright as a son of God. Right? There is no other way in which the idea of sacrifice can be removed from the world's thinking. Any other way of seeing will inevitably demand payment of someone or something. As a result, the perceiver will lose, nor will he have any idea why he is losing. Yet is his wholeness restored to his awareness through your vision. Well, it's like I'm responsible for what I see. I give the figures in my dream all the meaning they have for me, and I decide in my own mind whether someone else is sacrificing or not, or whether I am better than them or they are less than me, or all of these sorts of things. And it's all nonsense. We're all one. The world is a very tricky, tenacious, confusing place that only represents the duality and the separative circumstances of our experience as bodies, let's say. But the truth of us just wipes the slate clean, and that's where we're learning to stay here in this. Yet is his holiness restored to his awareness through your vision. Your holiness blesses him by asking nothing of him. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. Your holiness is the salvation of the world. It lets you teach the world that it is one with you, not by preaching to it, not by telling it anything, but merely by your quiet recognition that in your holiness are all things blessed along with you. And that's quite a beautiful experience. It's like I like to often go down to the beach, take the dog for a walk, and I sit at the end of the beach for a few minutes and just look out to the ocean and absorb, or try to take on board and re-nurture as often as possible that sense of holiness, that sense that there's nothing I need to do, there's no demand I need to make of anyone. Everything will be supplied if I allow it, if I keep an open mind. Yes, wow, thank you, the 3 words of salvation. And the 4th one is help, if you forget those 3. You can apply those words to anything. Yes, wow, and thank you. Old lesson, that one. All right, so today's 4 longer exercise periods, each to involve 3 to 5 minutes of practice, begin with the repetition of the idea for today, followed by a minute or so of looking about you as you apply the idea to whatever you see. My holiness blesses this chair. My holiness blesses that window. My holiness blesses this body. Then close your eyes and apply the idea to any person who occurs to you, using his name and saying, my holiness blesses you, Dave. You may continue the practice period with your eyes closed. You may open your eyes again and apply the idea for today to your outer world if you so desire. You may alternate between applying it to what you see around you and to those who are in your thoughts. Or you may use any combination of these 2 phases of application which you prefer. The practice period should conclude with a repetition of the idea made with your eyes closed. My holiness blesses the world. And another following immediately with your eyes open. My holiness blesses the world. The shorter exercises consist of repeating the idea as often as you can. It is particularly helpful to apply it silently to anyone you meet, using his name as you do so. It is essential to use the idea if anyone seems to cause an adverse reaction in you. Offer him the blessings of your holiness immediately, that you may learn to keep it in your own awareness. Hear that? Offer him the blessings of your holiness immediately, that you may learn to keep it in your own awareness. I'm training this to stay here, not out here in the past, not over here in the future. Boom, finger on my nose, here and now. All right, well, that's it, lesson 37. That's pretty self-explanatory. But I think I mentioned yesterday in the lesson 36, it's like the things that we are addicted or entrenched in are our limitation, right? The idea that our holiness, or that holiness applies to us, is something that seems like, it's too much. That's, what is holiness? What bloody blah, blah, blah. It's like, holiness? What kind of fucking arrogance is that? And that's how it sort of seems sometimes, what sort of arrogance is it? But holiness is simple. It's our connection. It's our true relationship with each other. That's what holiness is. It's not about something, trumpets from the clouds, and something that's more worthy than us or whatever. We are worthy of that true relationship, that one, that sonship, or the I and he and me, as it says in the Bible, and all those sorts of things. We're worthy of that. You have to carry that in your heart and remain in the presence of that within yourself, even in the face of what shows up in the world as your own karma that tries to teach you that that's not so, right? Until you have finally healed all of that which shows up, that karma, and remain only left with that sense of holiness, right? It's like I have a beautiful sense of holiness of myself and everyone and everything, but it doesn't make me any better or any worse than anyone else, especially not any worse or any better. It's just very normal and ordinary. Finally, when you get through the transition of your entire workbook lessons and everything like that, and pop out the other end, if you've done them correctly, you'll just be a normal human being, or experience yourself as a normal human being with this elevated sense of self, this higher sense of self, which has a true worth and a true use and a true purpose, in your in your residual journey, in whatever's left for you on the earth to do. That's about it. I love you, and see you tomorrow for lesson 38, I think.